Friends, is the dog man's best friend or a threat? Obviously, dogs are humans' best friends. But imagine stepping out of your house for a morning walk only to realize that the footpath that you walk on is no longer safe. It is not safe anymore, and now it belongs to a pack of angry street dogs. And what about your safety? Well, it completely depends upon their mood. Hello all, welcome to ARK Reflections IAS. I am Yogiraj. And if you think this is fiction, you are wrong. It is not fiction, it is actually the lived reality across urban and rural India. And now the highest court in the land has stepped in with an ultimatum. The Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India has refused to back down on its strict orders to clear away the street dogs from high footfall public zones. More crucially, it has also explicitly allowed the euthanasia, that is the legal killing of rabid and demonstrably dangerous dogs. Predictably, this has triggered a massive storm. Animal rights activists are furious, but the resident groups are finally relieved. But beyond the emotional social media debates, what is the actual law? What does the law say about this? And how did a constitutional democracy end up choosing between the right of a citizen and the life of an animal? Let us look at the facts. To understand why the Supreme Court acted so aggressively, we must first look at the sheer scale of this crisis. Now, globally, the dog bites are seen as a local anomaly. But here in India, the numbers paint a completely different picture. Nationally, the number of dog bites, can you imagine how much that is? 37 lakhs. 37 lakhs is the annual number of dog bites that we record in India. Is it a small number? Obviously not. In a single month, in a single district, Rajasthan, in the district of Sri Nagar in Rajasthan, it reported 1000 dog bites in one single month. In Tamil Nadu, it clocked 2 lakh dog bites in just 4 months. And the story is the same with Karnataka as well, which has clocked in around 2 lakh dog bites in just 4 months. Now, you might ask, why is a dog bite being treated so seriously? Why is it being treated like a national crisis? Why can't people simply get a simple injection and move on? Because of a terrifying reality, and that reality is called rabies. Rabies is the reality. Rabies is a viral disease that attacks the central nervous system. Once the clinical symptoms of rabies appear in a human being, the mortality rate is not 50%. It is not even 90%. It is 99% fatality. 99%, which is almost no chance of survival. India carries the highest rabies burden in the entire world. When the children, senior citizens, and even the international travelers are routinely mauled by the street dogs on the streets of India, the state cannot remain as a silent spectator. This entire crisis has triggered a bitter constitutional battle. On one side, you have the animal welfare groups. The animal welfare organizations work towards the welfare of street dogs, cows, and all the street animals that are there. And on the other side, you have the resident welfare associations who talk about the rights and the well-being of the civilians. Now, both of these sides are fighting with the Constitution of India in their hands. The animal rights groups point toward the Article 51AG. Article 51AG of the Indian Constitution that talks about compassion for living creatures. They argue something. They argue that the street dogs are territorial animals and compulsorily removing them from their places or permanently locking them up in poorly managed shelters is not just impractical, it is inherently cruel. But the residents point out to the fundamental rights, particularly Article 21 that talks about the fundamental right to life and safety. And the Supreme Court has backed the citizens on this. The bench ruled that the right to live with dignity naturally encompasses the right to walk freely on public streets and to let your children play safely and to access public places without a gripping fear of any physical harm due to a street dog. And the court made it clear, the Constitution does not envision a society where human beings must survive based on physical strength because the local government failed to keep the streets safe. So what exactly has the Supreme Court ordered in its latest judgment? Let's break down the directives first. The first thing is that stray dogs must be entirely removed from highly sensitive public zones. This includes schools, it includes hospitals, it also includes railway stations and bus depots. And secondly, each and every state and union territory must have at least one functional ABC, that is the Animal Birth Control Center, at least one per district. And third, the local authorities have been given the green light to execute euthanasia. Euthanasia for dogs that are rabid, incurable, or demonstrably dangerous. Now, look at the legal cover given here. The Supreme Court stated that no lawsuits or criminal cases can be filed against government officials for executing these orders in good faith. But why did the court have to take such extreme and sweeping measures? Why? Because because of decades of sheer institutional laziness, negligence. For years, local municipalities have received massive funds from taxpayers to run the vaccination drives, sterilization drives, and they did not do it properly. The drives lacked planning, failed to keep up with the pace of the breeding cycles, and let the population explode. The result is this. The result is 37 lakh bites per year. That is what we see in India today. And this is why the Apex Court took away the power from sluggish local authorities and asked the high courts to personally monitor process via suo motu cases. The judiciary is demanding accountability and forcing states to report back. While the order handles the public safety properly, it leaves the door open to a very dangerous question. The activists are now asking something very logical. They are asking that we can medically test and identify a rabid dog. But who exactly defines what an aggressive or a dangerous dog is? And this is where the grey area lies. And in law, grey area is a very dangerous thing. See, a dog might bark out of fear, out of hunger, or a past injury, or maybe simply it's trying to protect its newborn puppies. An untrained municipal worker might see a dog barking and label it dangerous just to get rid of it. And there is a genuine fear that this could trigger arbitrary, illegal mass killing of these dogs on the ground by bypassing the scientific protocols as set by the animal birth control rules. The court has tried to balance this by saying that euthanasia can only happen strictly under legal and veterinary protocols. But as we know, in India the situation is very different. The gap between the law on paper and the execution on ground is very massive. In one of its most striking remarks during the judgment, the Supreme Court warned about something. It warned that if the state machinery fails to act now, our society risks slipping into the Darwinian survival of the fittest situation, a state where humans and animals compete on the street for the survival. And this is completely unacceptable in a civilized democracy. See, the high courts have given time until 7th August of this year to submit their compliance reports. And this isn't an issue about hating animals or disregarding human suffering. It's a stark reminder that when public administration collapses, then even the right to freely walk on street becomes a legal battleground. And for those of you who are writing their UPSC in the years 2027 or 2028, ARK Reflections IAS is launching a complete prelims cum mains comprehensive GS foundation course starting from June 15th. Here, each and every subject will be covered in utmost depth from both prelims and mains point of view, starting from absolute basics. Seats are limited, so please hurry up and call us at this number, that is 9000 400 55, and our team will be happy to assist you. This is me, Yogi Raj. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.